Did you ever see How's Your News? The documentary about it's the mentally challenged people that go out.
I know about it, but
they go out. They do news correspondence. It's sort of like a self-funded thing where they're caretakers. They wanted to do it, and they kind of, I don't know. They put this project together and they went out there and it's. There's this Down syndrome guy who's like talking to Ben Affleck about. But Ben Affleck is he keeps asking him questions about Daredevil or something, and Ben Affleck is so in actor talking politics mode. He's so supercharged about how bad the Republicans are and stuff. He comes the closest to being a little bit of a dick to a retarded guy. He's kind of like, he kind of doesn't notice the guy's retarded and is like kind of a...
He doesn't notice.
I know, but he does, but I'm just saying, like he's like...
Because Daredevil is blind.
Yeah. He just, everybody else, it's like really heartwarming because these people are doing what they want. It's like we're so used to, like, it really cuts to the quick of this weird ironic swirl that we have surrounding people who are differently abled, where we think that sensitivity is treating them like ghosts because when they walk into a room we don't want them to be the way they are, which is a horrible thing to feel about another human being, so we pretend we don't feel that way because we don't want to engage them. Meanwhile, the people who wipe their asses and pick them up and carry them into the water if they've never experienced being in water before, the people who wipe drool off their face, who stay with them to keep them from swallowing so much air that their stomachs explode depending on what they've got and how bad they got it. Like people who engage with them and don't have that kind of shame and guilt, like they're kind of delighted by people, like for instance with Down syndrome, are typically very funny people. Like they make you laugh, and I think we all feel like when we feel that laughter coming up when a person with Down syndrome like says something and is entertaining, like we kind of like. We have this weird reaction, but the How's Your News is uplifting because they go around and it's like, I don't know, it's just like you know, they're going across the country and like there isn't anybody that's going, what's wrong with you? What's your problem? What are you, retarded? Like everyone kind of very quickly adapts and has delightful conversations.
Or those are the ones that didn't make it into the documentary, where people are just like, wait, are you retarded? Like, cut, let's go to the next guy.
I'm sure there was some uncharismatic moments. But I'm sure if there was a big one, they probably would have put it in for the sake of like full, like kind of like give you the full picture. But anyways, Ben Affleck kind of, and it's not because he's a bad person. Like it's not like he doesn't like the retarded. Like I just remembered watching it, going like, I don't think he's paying attention. Like he's just annoyed that the guy won't stop asking him about Daredevil. He wants to talk about politics.
Speaking of what you were saying, my wife's mom, who's like a wonderful person, Southern lady, whenever she sees somebody who has like Down syndrome or somebody who's in a wheelchair, she always goes, so pitiful. She says it every single time. And she's like so like, she thinks it's like a good thing. She's like, oh, so pitiful. But like pretty loud. And one time she went up to two guys were holding hands and she was like, I think that's great. And just walked away.
Seal of approval from a stranger.
Yeah. Like, thanks, lady.
I mean, I guess pitiful and pathetic, the meanings of those words have changed to pejorative words, punitive words. You're pathetic. You're pitiful. Like, pitiful is meaning like you're, you know, something to be pitied, I guess. Like, it's not politically correct, you know. But
just saying pitiful is not correct. I don't think in any way. I don't think
it's just saying I pity you.
So pitiful. Well, what if she said so tragic? I mean, that's the thing. That's where it runs up against this thing where you're not supposed to feel sorry. You're not supposed to regard the differently abled as being lesser than yourself.
Are they?
Well, I mean, if a person has one arm, they have one less arm than the average person, and they're pretty capable of going like, yeah, well, I got the one arm, so they don't have to let it hold them back. You're not supposed to not give them a job because they have less arms. They can still go to the Olympics, or like as I found out on this stage, like some people can get indicted for murder and have like cyborg limbs. There's people with different numbers of things doing all kinds of stuff. When it's a purely physical thing like that, when you're like, I got one leg and I'm gonna jump over the moon, it's like it's very easy for us to compartmentalize and stuff. And then you have like, well, what if you're bipolar? What if you're transgender, but you're like, you identify as a different gender than you are? What if you're a kleptomaniac? What if you're just clinically depressed? What if you have Down syndrome? It's harder for us to process that information and come out the other side like just kind of rooting for everybody. We used to go, oh, everyone different is worse off. Here's, we just call them worse off, and let's collect some money. And it's like in so many ways we've advanced in our thinking, but in some very strange ways we've kind of along the way gotten a little tangled in our own shoelaces, haven't we?
Play that cowboy song.